Coming up on OTH, Raymond and I go over Mark Yetter's patch 11.6 preview. Raymond gives his speech in defense of Niles, and then we dive right into the final week of the LCS Spring Split. We also give our thoughts on the first team All Pro for the LCS Spring Split before giving our predictions on the first matches of the mid-season Showdown. We hope you enjoy episode 7 of On the Hunt. Welcome everybody to episode 7 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I'm your co-host Chris, aka the Apple Sheep, because I pretty much have the holy trinity of like all of the Apple products. And by trinity, I mean 4 of them. Because I have an iPhone, an Apple Watch, I have AirPods, and then I recently bought a MacBook. So I pretty much have one of everything that they sell to consumers. And joining me on every episode is our other co-host Raymond.
Hey guys, what's going on? Dude, I kind of feel you on the Apple thing. I don't know. I try not to be an Apple sheep, to be honest, but then I also have an iPhone and a MacBook, so what am I to say?
Yeah, that's just the way it turned out. And they're all cool products, I guess. I mean, I could live without the MacBook, but now I have bought some Mac-specific programs now, so I'm locked in. I can't leave. That's just the way it works, I guess. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Actually, off that topic still. That's while we're here in the chill time. I always have just used like the default like pair of headphones you get from like Apple when you buy a new phone or whatever. And mine like finally gave out in one ear like this last week. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I feel like I don't want to get AirPods, but I would still kind of want to get AirPods, but I don't know. I got to figure that out. Start shopping.
Okay. Yeah. That I will tell you that those ear pods, the ones that come with your phone are like, they're so reliable, dude. I probably used one pair for like 3 or 4 years one time.
Yeah.
that came with like my original iPod or something.
Yeah, I think same for me. I think the thing that usually goes for me like before was like just where it goes into your phone, and then like the cord coming out, like I would always keep it in my pocket, and then I'd sit like on it, and then it would just get frayed or like touchy, and then it would stop working.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. And so yeah, those motherfuckers are sturdy.
Yeah.
And then I will tell you that I thoroughly enjoy my AirPods Pro, especially because like I can't live without noise canceling stuff now.
Yeah.
Headphones or like AirPods Pro as well. I will say that like once upon a time you could go into an Apple store and you could just ask them to try on like AirPods, because like there's different ones. There's like the regular model, that the ones that look like toothbrushes or whatever it is. And then there's the ones that look like hair dryers. And so I have the ones that look like hair dryers. And I went in one day and I asked to try them on, and they're like, okay. And then I tried it on. The fit is good for me. They don't like fall out of my ear when like shaking my head or anything.
Right.
And I like the functionality on it. So yeah, and then I think they were like out of stock because they were like pretty popular at that time. But then I was able to get them, and I don't regret it. I think, and it's pretty cool the way that it works with all the Apple products. Although sometimes it is a little wonky, like switching from my iPhone to MacBook, and then like sometimes if you like take it out, it like pauses the playback of everything, and then like you put it back in and it doesn't resume properly because it connects back to your phone instead of the MacBook when you're trying to watch a video. And it's whatever, but I would recommend those. But then also they're kind of pricey. They're like 200 something. But then maybe like the regular earpods, if you don't care about the noise canceling, the regular earpods can go for you. But then like some people don't like the way that it fits in their ear, or the way that it feels, or it falls out of their ear because of their ear shape or something like that.
Yeah.
There's so many things about them that like I wish that you could try them.
Yeah, but I can't go into a store, can I? I mean, I could. But...
Sir, no store. Actually, no. I think that they recently like reopened them, but yeah, I don't think you could probably try them on anymore.
Yeah.
At this time.
Don't want to get earborne COVID.
Yeah, shut up, Dad. So what's up? You've been playing any League of Legends, dude?
Yeah, dude, I've been playing with my buds a fair amount this week. Got another full match history that I'm looking at here. Yeah, it's been a grind of some ARAMs, some fill games. I've learned that jungle is a dog roll, and I've stopped trying to be anything but a hard center in jungle.
What do you mean? You got to listen to the lanes, or what do you mean dog roll?
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe I'm just too bad at jungle still, but like if I'm not playing something where I'm just like constantly like I always expect that like my laners are gonna get ganked and I like have to be there for ganks, like even if I'm like, oh, I just do this clamp and then go, like I'm trying to clear optimally and then like it never works out and I like we blow at the 2v2s or whatever, something like that, and then I just feel like I'm down the whole game, like down bad, can't fight the enemy jungle, can't farm because my laners are getting pushed and like it's blown. So I reverted the last couple of days, or the last couple of games that I got there. I was just playing Elise and I was like rushing Sark shoes and just like, we're fighting. I'm gonna take the 2v2s. We're gonna gank. I'm not gonna go back to my jungle unless like there's literally nothing to do. It's felt better.
Yes. Everything you described to me, that sounds like jungle. So I believe you. But yeah, sounds fun, man. I think I only played 2 games of League of Legends in the past 7 days. One of them is a Tristana middle game, which was really fun.
Yeah.
But I lost that game. And then I also played a game of Top Camille, and I also lost that game. And so yeah, that's it. But something that I noticed is that a lot of people are making Everfrost on like the most random champions now. So
yeah,
I think last weekend Jensen made it on like Veigar and Ari, and then I was looking it up today because I was gonna play LeBlanc, and I guess LeBlanc players are making Everfrost too. So that item seems to be really good, and a lot of the players believe in it. So
yeah.
I'm wondering if it's up on the chopping block soon.
I think probably. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like it's gotten a lot more presence and like it's still like above like just average usefulness for all those people. So I'd bet I wouldn't be surprised to see it taken down a little bit of a notch.
Yeah, I like the item. I hope I'm thinking it needs a cooldown nerf, like even potentially double the cooldown from like 20 to 40 seconds. I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. And then on that topic, I guess we can go ahead and start looking at the preview for patch 11.6.
Oh, yeah.
So up here over on Twitter, we got Mark Yetter providing the patch preview of some of the tentative changes to come. And that should drop this week, usually on Tuesday nights. Did you see anything that was of interest to you here?
I think there's a lot of stuff here that isn't like that crazy. I think there are a couple of the adjustments they made to a couple of mythics in particular. I'm looking at the shield bow changes and the Leandry's changes that are kind of interesting. And I can just touch on one to start if you've got anything else. But I would say the shield bow one, I kind of like. They're turning down like the overall lifesteal and they're taking off the like additional lifesteal on the lifeline proc. So when you get the shield, no longer get like 20% lifesteal also. It's just instead you get the shield and they made it a little bigger. And then you also get attack speed during the proc. So I think that's kind of nice to like it feels. I think it probably feels better to play against not having to see like Yone's hit for like 400 damage crits and 300 damage healing when they proc shield bow.
Yeah, I saw that too for the shield bow, and I think that'll make it. I think it'll still be really good with the last stand rune in the triumph tree, precision tree. So yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting, and we'll just have to give it a try and see how it feels.
What about you? Did you see anything catching your eye?
Yeah, in this patch, I think there's a lot of like changes for mid lane items. So they're increasing the cost for Void Staff, and they're hitting all of the resistances on Arm Guard and Verdant Barrier. So that's just a straight up nerf for those 2 items of how much armor or MR that they give. And then they're making, like you said, they're making a couple of changes to the way Leandry's and Luden's work. So I think we're gonna have to hit the testing lab on that one.
Yeah.
And then another thing is I'm kind of happy that they're reducing the cost of Rabadons, because that item is dummy expensive. And I'm pretty sure like somebody did the math where like pretty much it's always ideal for you to buy Void Staff instead of Rabadons.
Yeah.
So like it costing 1,000 more gold than Void Staff like actually doesn't make sense. Although it's like, that's still the ideal build for like the strongest AP that you could have.
Right. But if you're just looking at raw DPS, Void Staff is the way to go between the 2.
Yep. And then there's a lot of like nerfs here and there that like I'm kind of happy to see, but there's nothing too big to point out.
Yeah, a lot of the healing nerfs, I think that's good. I feel like it is just nicer to have like lower baseline healing. I think probably the one I like the most is Ravenous Hunter, just going down, having no baseline Omnivamp. I think that's nice. It seems like it won't be that big of a deal. Like people will still take it, but
yeah, I think that's pretty nice, and I think that puts it more in line with like contestable with like Ultimate Hunter, or maybe even the item cooldown one if that you're a champion that uses that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true.
Because even a lot of the AP people they will take Ravenous Hunter just because it's that good.
Yeah,
but then maybe
so nice.
People like LeBlanc will take Ultimate Hunter instead now to get the ulti cooldown back and that sort of thing.
What do you think about the Leandry's change? I feel like I actually kind of like this change that they're doing for it.
Yeah, I think so. The way that it reads is that right now it has like you gain bonus magic penetration the longer you're in combat with like champions up to 15% bonus magic penetration percentage. And I guess they're taking that off and making it so that Leandry's deals an extra 12% bonus magic damage based on the person's bonus health, which is kind of weird. So it's like basically saying that like the more HP they have, the more HP the target has, the more burn damage they'll take. So it sounds like it's not going to be that strong when it's your first item, and like maybe people only have like one mythic item and that might not even have health on it, so it might not be as strong as before, but mathematically we'll have to see if it's a better like tank killer for people like Azir or Corki, maybe even like Ari or something like that. We'll see if it's how the numbers turn out, because I can't really tell at a glance like how strong that is, because it's like based on people's bonus health, not their like max health or anything like that. So it's just, I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, I think the way I was looking at it, I feel like it's just it becomes kind of the AP Lord Dominic's now. And I think I'd like that. Like, I think one of the problems when, like, last season when LS, reached to the world and Leandry's, like, second became, like, the go-to for mages, like, it's sort of the same problem, where you get, like, this strong, percentage, like, HP damage, and then you also get just, like, raw pen on it, kind of. And now that you can, like, now that they've changed that up, it's, like, you don't double dip in, like, strong pen and strong damage. It's just, like, get a good damage thing, yield damage to tanks, but you still have to invest into like a void staff or something if they start to build on Mar. So it feels a little nicer, I think, for like squishies that would previously get hit by Leandry's damage.
Oh yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah, so I think this item, it might be weaker against people who don't build health, but then it could be stronger against people who do build health, just as a standalone item, which is kind of what I care about. Like I want to know how strong it is when you just have that and like maybe Sork shoes and like Doran's ring, and then I don't care how strong it is at like 3 or 4 items, I guess. And then there's a couple other changes to like Akali and Xin Zhao, and then some champion changes here and there. But, do you want to talk about any of that stuff?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I don't want to go all the way into the Akali and Xin Zhao stuff because I wonder how much of this might change by the time the patch goes live. But I don't know, the Xin, they both kind of seem weird. I don't know. Akali's changes aren't that drastic, but Xin's are just like kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like data of like his pick rate is low, and then when he is picked, his win rate is low or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure why there's like so many changes to like every one of his skills. But we'll see how that ends up being. I wonder if like this is gonna make him like a lot more playable, or like a low Ealer pub stomper kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they just update his numbers to be like really strong. I actually really like playing Xin Zhao, especially when you take Halo Blades on him. It feels really good to play him sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just then you're stuck playing Xin Zhao, and the only way to go is in when you play the Chinaman.
Right. It's only good. It's one of those that's really good when you get strong and you like all your early ganks work and the enemy jungler walks into you at Scuttle Crab and all that kind of stuff. And then like level 13 hits and then you go in and you don't kill someone, then it's sad.
Yeah, I will say that like if you ever play with your friends that are like lower level than you, or like you're smurfing, then Xin Zhao is the perfect smurfing because he costs like, he's cheap. He's like, I think he's 1350 blue essence, and then like he's just really good at most points of the game.
Yeah, I'd agree on that. He was definitely one of my, like, season three era when I would get stuck in jungle and pick order champ select. That was a go-to.
Okay, so let's get started with our picks of the week for our episode 7 of On the Hunt. You want to go first?
Sure, dude. And I'll say I got 2 here. I'll try and make the first one quick. I think number 1, since you did a shout out last week, I'm gonna shout out my boy Niles. Because I feel like he's been getting so much hate after this split, and I feel like it's not, like, fair to him. Like, I mean, obviously, 10th place top laner. Like, it's, it's hard to argue that, but, like, to see everybody that's just, like, at his throat, like, saying, like, why is this guy in the LCS? There's guys like Hansard rotting in Academy or whatever, and it's like, there are other circumstances to why Niles is on Golden Guardians, obviously. But you don't just, like, get, like, that's not how any of this works, to just say, like, the better player should be in place necessarily, right? Like, you're on Golden Guardians. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be like Hanser doesn't want to be on Golden Guardians to be that guy that makes a 10th place team into an 8th place team or something, right? Like, it's not like, that's just not how it works. Let the guy play. Let the guy get better and play against LCS caliber guys. I can tell you, we played in collegiate. I'm sure Niles would have shit on us if we played against his team. Like, give it some time. Let the guy roll. That's all I got for him.
And I think that's like the fastest way to improve too. It's just that, keep playing people who are better than you, and hopefully you can take away something to learn when you do lose.
Yeah.
I will say that I would say that 10th place NA is so bad. Like there's some people who are like 10th place LEC and then they come to NA and he's the best top laner here, and so
Yeah, true. But to be fair, to be fair to Alfari, he was still like number one top laner even when their team somehow was fucking garbage. So it wasn't quite the
right.
same.
I'm just saying that just because right now you're 10th place NA, maybe in the future you can be number one, either here or somewhere else. If you want to go to like Brazil or Japan, there's other places you can go to play League of Legends. If you don't want to be here anymore.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so you said you got a second pick?
Yeah, I'll say my second one I'll go into as an actual pick of the week. And this is someone that I haven't played recently, but I want to play more, like, if I get some time this week, and that's Sivir. Shout out to the namesake of the podcast. I've been seeing Double Lift spamming her a lot, and Sneaky's playing her some, and Double talked about it with Medios a bit, I think, on one of his co-streams. So I'm like anything for my girl Sivir, I'm, like, down to, give her a shot. I feel like she's probably got some good spot in this meta.
Okay, is there anything you're thinking about, like any items you want to try out, or you just want to play her?
I think I'm gonna try the weird ass lethality build. I don't think it'll be what like I end up sticking with because it still seems fucking troll to me. But I'll probably try that one where you're going like Duskblade and Essence Reaver, like the Ezreal build basically, but on Sivir. I'll give that a try, but then I'll probably just stick normal crit. I think you go Gale Force or Shield Bow if you need to, and then just get your crit, get your Essence Reaver, get your Lord Doms and all that, and bounce some boomerangs across the enemy team.
Okay, so you don't think you're gonna go Essence Reaver first or something spicy like that?
Yeah, I don't think you really need to. I think the last couple buffs for her, that she's gotten like mana restore buffs with her E and stuff. So if you play the lane right, I think you can just get away with, especially with Presence of Mind. I feel like you get enough like mana in lane that you're not like required to go Essence first. You can get a lot of prio to get like free backs and stuff when you need to. So I think you'd stick with Mythic Rush.
Dude, I love the current Presence of Mind. I love that like it rewards you for like hitting skills, I guess.
Yeah.
And it just gives you mana back for no reason. I feel like that's like theoretically, I feel like that's broken.
Yeah.
But they don't take it out or anything, so I like the way that it is now.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. I like being able to, like, especially as an AD. I feel like I don't pay attention to it in game. It's just like, oh yeah, I can see myself like, like you play Caitlyn and it's like, oh, I can auto attack and then just get mana back for free after that. Like, it doesn't cost mana for me. Like, it seems so smart. I can always have full mana, and then in game I just forget about it and don't pay attention. But
okay, sounds good, dude. All right, for my pick of the week, I actually have another TFT shout out because I've just been hard spamming TFT lately, and I think my goal is to get diamond, and then maybe I'll lay off of it for a while.
Maybe.
And I'm gonna be honest, I've been kind of hard stuck in platinum at where I am. I'll go on like a small little win streak, and then I'll lose a lot, and you can lose your progress so fast in that game. In like 2 hours, you can just lose like 90 LP. It's really crazy.
Just go fast 8th. Back to back to back.
Yeah, exactly. Like really fast. Yeah, I guess in a way, like in under an hour, you could lose like you can get demoted and lose a whole tier. It's pretty crazy how badly you can lose LP in that game. But I've been getting better, and especially today, I felt like I was cracked. Like usually when you play TFT, your APM is like 30, right? Like there's not a lot of like gameplay to TFT.
Right. I mean, I played that game with one hand on the mouse, and that's it. Just sit back in your chair.
Yeah, and the other hand can be occupied too. But anyways, lately I've been kind of tryharding, and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. But then, yeah, I want to hit my goal. I want to hit diamond, and then maybe I'll take Summoner's Rift ranked a little more seriously again. But I've kind of enjoyed this like time off because, well, in a weird way, like Summoner's Rift was making me kind of like frustrated, but then TFT is also making me frustrated because that game is like kind of wonky sometimes, and sometimes I don't really have like any good takeaways from a game.
Right.
And and the thing is that like I would not want to watch my own replay of a TFT game. That sounds terrible. But anyway, so my shout out and my pick of the week is going to be this dude named Bunny Muffins on YouTube. First of all, he has really great informational videos about like meta and like theory and that sort of thing. I don't know what his rank is in the game, but he seems to be legit and pretty good. And secondly, he shows his face on camera and stuff, and low key he's kind of handsome, but I don't think he lives in America. So we're star-crossed lovers, I guess.
Damn, all right, dude. I like that.
Yeah, so that's my pick of the week.
Professor Love for TFT and Bunny Muffins.
Yes, sir. So if you're out there and if somehow you come across this with like some good Google Kung Fu, then that one was for you, man.
All right, dude. Nice shout out. What do we got next?
Okay, this I guess we could talk about some of the league content. If you end up watching anything, any TSM Legends or Hotline or the Heist.
Yeah, I think I caught up I think I just finished last week's Hotline League episode like today. I think I just was like not listening to as much podcast this past week. But yeah, that and they had Emily Rand on. That was a good talk. I think she was pretty insightful about stuff. I like listening to her talk. They talked about the last one I listened to, they talked about like the Faker situation over at T1. That was pretty interesting. That stuff's kind of wild. But it seems like it came to a decent conclusion this last week. Got back games and was playing pretty well. So hopefully.
Oh, okay. I might have to check that out then.
Yeah, it was because they've been doing there's weird stuff going on at T1 a little bit, but that was pretty cool to listen to. TSM Legends this week was kind of nice too. They talked about this was the week they talked about Lost, right?
Yeah, I think I watched it like right when it was released because I was like bored on Saturday morning and
yeah,
I watched it.
Yeah, so I like that too. Last couple episodes where they've talked about like Lost and Huni have been like cool to see. So that's pretty much it for me. I haven't been too deep in stuff.
Yeah, sounds good, dude. I think I listened to The Dive and Face Check, but like I kind of tuned those out now. Like now that I think about it, I'm not sure if they're like I'll still listen to them, but I'm not like yeah, that's the shit anymore.
Yeah,
mostly because The Dive is like us. So like that's why I don't think they're special anymore.
You're still every time you listen to Dive, you're still just thinking like, God damn it, dude, the Dive is stealing our topics.
Yeah, all of our content, and then Face Check is just like I feel like it's so polarized now, where like they talk about something that like happened to them, and then how like fans are crazy and. something Reddit controversy and they have to defend themselves, and then by the way like there's this topic and then like the answer is this, and if you don't think that's the answer then you're wrong and you're foolish.
Yeah,
there's some sort of thing like that's like very heavily one-sided at some point of the episode, every episode lately. And so that gets kind of boring to me. I guess I'm not entertained by that. I still like I Will Dominate and the other guy Digon, and LS is cool too. I don't know why I said it like that, but but I don't know, my interest is kind of waning in that one is all I'll have to say.
I think some of it's got to be that TFT is taking your heart, dude. You're just like, why do I care about this League of Legends stuff? Talk about the real League of Legends game, Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah, dude, that's where all the good players went, like Loco Doco and stuff. And then I think I was trying to listen to today or yesterday's episode of Summoning Insight. I haven't gotten through it yet though, but I usually enjoy those gentlemen over there.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be it for me.
Dude, actually, we'll go one quick on the broadcast. What did you think about like Caedral and Kobe switching places? How'd you like him?
Oh, that's another thing is that, okay, first of all, I was going to say that I don't think I've listened to the analyst desk for like the last 2 weeks. I think I've just been only watching like
co-streams,
VODs and co-streams. And then when it gets to because I also watch VODs, I don't watch it live. I'll usually just skip to like the next game or something like that. So I actually haven't listened to the analyst desk in a while. And then especially for that one, the day that Caedral was there, I'm glad that I didn't listen to the main stream that day, since there was like since there was a really big delay in one of the games, and so I feel pretty bad for that guy being on like European time and he had to stay up to like 3 a.m. or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I think he stayed up until like 7 a.m. Dude, I think he started it was midnight, and then they had like an hour and a half long pause.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so I actually have no opinions on that at all. What about you? Did you listen to him or anything?
Yeah, I like Caedral. I've been watching LEC this year pretty closely too, so I've listened to him already, but it was like he's very well spoken and like good at communicating like high level, like I mean he was in LEC not like a year or two ago, so he's still got the stuff to talk about it, and that's good to listen to. I think a lot like high and stuff like that.
Yeah, I will say that like when he first started doing it, I thoroughly enjoyed what he had to say. Was that Worlds when he started doing that? When he started casting a little bit?
Yeah, I think he showed up at Worlds. Because I think what it probably happened is that like he was after like he got knocked out of like XL got knocked out of regular season or whatever, he probably did like LEC playoffs, and then since LEC was like in charge of a lot of the Worlds broadcasts when they were the only people in studio, I think he got to talk on that too.
Okay, yeah. So I really liked him on the analysis back then. I haven't really heard much of his casting though, but I like him from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And he's kind of handsome as well.
True. He's got that British accent. So dreamy.
Dude, I started watching this show on Netflix. And in that show, they have like all these different European accents, like English, Scottish, Irish, and that sort of thing. And it's so funny. I can never take them seriously. It's like, really, this is
This is how you
a
talk?
TV show like produced. It's really mean, but I can't help but laugh like for half of the show, even though it's like a really serious scene.
That's funny.
Okay, let's hop right into our LCS talk with week 6, the final week of the spring split season. We've got our final standings with C9 at first place, 13-5, undisputed number 1, best in the whole North America. And then right behind them is TSM and TL, both at 12-6. But officially for the seeding for the midseason showdown, TSM is second and TL is third because TL lost to TSM 0-2 during the regular season. So because of that head-to-head matchup, they get placed third place and therefore third seed when it comes to the midseason showdown. And then fourth place, we got 100 Thieves at 11-7, also just one game behind the second and third place. Fifth place, we've got Dignitas at 11-7, also, so they're also tied with 100 Thieves. But same situation there because 100 Thieves 2-0 Dignitas during the regular season, they get placed below them and there's no chance for a tiebreaker match. And specifically, DeMonte was in the roster both times 100 Thieves beat Dignitas. So I just want to put that out there. And then lastly at 6th place, the last spot for the spring season showdown, mid-season showdown, is going to be EG at 10-8. And it's really crazy because in this last week, a lot of the top 6 teams either went 2-1 or better, with TL being the only team that went 3-0 this weekend. And unfortunately, Dignitas lost their second place spot and their chances for first place because they went 1-2 this weekend.
Yeah.
But what did you think of this weekend, dude, of games and matchups, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty interesting weekend. Like, I don't know that any of the games in particular were like crazy hype. I feel like a lot of them ended up kind of going, like if you just look at playoff seedings, like kind of by playoff seedings, not too many upsets. Or if they were, it was like it's pretty close. No, like bottom teams playing spoiler to some number 1 or 2 seed hopes or something like that. But it definitely made. I feel like there were a lot of like the top 6 like kind of showing that they're all pretty decent teams. Like you said, a lot of them went 2-1. There were some head-to-head matchups like between all of them, so we got to see like already like high-level games. So I think it'll make playoffs interesting.
Yeah, I think playoffs is going to be really interesting. We'll get to that in a second. First things first, I wanted to compare the last final standings to what we ended up saying in episode 1, our predictions for the end of the spring split after the lock-in tournament. So I had said that I thought TL was going to be first place, and they ended up only one game behind the actual first place, so it wasn't too far off there. Second place, I had C9. 100 Thieves was my third place pick. I guess I was a little wrong. They ended up being a little weaker than I expected towards the end of the season, but third place isn't too far off from fourth place where they actually ended up at. I had TSM at fourth. They actually ended up being second. Pretty close. Like, the thing is, all of the top 5 for the end of the spring split here, they ended up really close. They're only like 1 or 2 games apart.
Yeah, for real.
So and some of them may have been upsets. Dignitas. And some of them might have been dirty Senna Tom Kench users, and they can't be used anymore because she got nerfed. So thank God. And then at 6th place, I had said that I think Dig or CLG were going to be in here. So in a way, I got all 6 of them right of like who's going to be in the top 6.
Yeah.
Just my order was a little jumbled up.
And we won't count that CLG top 6 like half placement. We won't. You got 6 for 6. I'll get that.
Yeah, thank you. I really need that kind of leniency.
Yeah, I think for me it was I don't know. We were pretty close. I think we had the top 5. Maybe order a little jumbled, but we were pretty close on the top 5. And then I was just trying to put FlyQuest in there. Dig just went nuts this split a little bit. So they beat out the B Quest team. But yeah, I think what I remember from when we started, we both kind of put C9 up there. But figured there'd be some growing pains, I guess, a little bit, and TL was just, going to be too consistent good. But both of those teams kind of proved us wrong in a way. C9 being, I guess, just too good to even that they had to int kind of near the end of the season to lose games, and then TL was just dropping games randomly, tactically inting.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what's up with Tactical lately. I feel like he's playing like Sleepyhead or something.
Yeah, for real.
I know he's better than what he's been showing for like the last 6 games, but He's been playing kind of weird lately, or like Tactical's brother's been playing, something like that, dude.
Yeah, it must have been.
Something's not right there. I wonder if it's because like they might not have been playing in the facility for like certain reasons. I think they might have been playing from home, the way that Jensen plays from home, but like maybe he's not used to that. I don't know if it's like that kind of environment kind of issue, or maybe if he's just slumping. But TL's got a couple of big games ahead of them next week. I would say that looking back on your list now, I don't really fault you for putting Ficus at 6. I think they had a lot of big potential with like Johnson bottom, Licorice top, and then Jose Dioto coming in. I think Jose played okay. I think he's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 player, which is pretty good for somebody who just got here to the league. Kind of like closer, I guess.
Yeah.
When he first came here from Turkey, I think. And then I'm really kind of disappointed with how Licorice's on-stage performance ended up being, because I think when I saw his place in this team, I think that he needed to be like super 7 or 8 out of 10 all of the time. But then throughout the season, he ended up having like some games that were like 4 or 5 out of 10, and that's just not good enough for this kind of team that has a couple of rookies on it who might not be like superstars.
Yeah, that's true. He was definitely like the big ticket pickup for that team in the offseason. I mean, obviously their whole roster got blown up, so it was kind of everybody was new, but like Licorice definitely, I think, before any games happened, was supposed to be the guy that like was going to carry this team, be like the top lane superstar that he kind of built himself up to be on C9. And that, yeah, like you said, that just didn't really show through consistently during split.
Yeah. And then one last thing is, I know you went on your whole Niles spiel earlier, and so I don't want to flame Diamond too hard. But I will say that bottom lane, there's 2 people in bottom lane, and I don't fault Johnson too much.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think they put in Dreams this last weekend, and I think he was playing pretty well in some of the games that I was watching. And so I wonder who they're going to put in when it comes to the summer split of him or Diamond. I guess we'll end up seeing how that goes.
Yeah, they'll have a lot of time. I feel like I was just looking the other day or today, I think. Like, and I mean, MSI is like through May, right? Like, we don't start LCS Split 2 until June probably. So there's plenty of time for those lower teams to kind of play and practice and rest, I guess, a little and figure stuff out. So I wonder if
I was gonna say play some World of Warcraft, dude. They have some time off.
Yeah, play some WoW. True. Who are we kidding, dude? This is NA.
They get a lot of time off, unfortunately. But I guess if you're ready to jump into it, we'll talk about the Week 6 games before we preview the midseason showdown.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, so our featured Friday game of the week for Week 6 was going to be TL versus Dignitas, where last time TL had won, and then this time TL won again with a pretty one-sided match, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
What'd you think about this game, man?
Yeah, I mean, this one did, like you said, I think it was just kind of one-sided. We'll talk about the Dig C9 game next too, but this weekend kind of felt like Dig was just a little, I don't know, like outpaced, like when they get behind, like they just don't quite know what to do or don't have great ways to turn things around. It seems like against these teams that are like just like top of the table, like controlled and like very strong. So it seemed like TL got a lead early. Dignitas was picking kind of like these early lane like cool gank setup combos. Like they played, I think this game was where they went Callista, Thresh, and Skarner to do like wild Skarner pulls. And they pulled it off once and then didn't kill the guy, so it was just like kind of everything was going like a little wrong. And they, when you commit those kind of resources to plays that don't work out, and then that's like supposed to be your early game plan. If you don't get ahead, then you just slowly fall behind and lose the game.
Yeah, that's pretty funny that they picked Thresh Skarner and that they got it off.
Yeah.
I think once, maybe twice that game.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. It's a shame that it didn't like really turn out that well. Because I think the one time they tried it, like the guy got away, so that's pretty feels bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with how hard some of the games were, or how stompy some of the games were this weekend. Where it feels like the game score ended up being like 5-12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like 2-15, like pretty one-sided once a team got ahead. But I guess that's what shows the good teams from the decent teams, I suppose. And so yeah, you're right. Let's just hop into Dig versus C9 for the Saturday game of the week. Same thing here. C9 won last time, and then C9 won again this time versus Dignitas. So that's just 2 games in a row that Dignitas didn't end up panning out so hot. I think this was one of the games where like it was like 2-15, like pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
I also think this game was pretty slow, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think,
or maybe that was a different game.
No, I think I was just looking back at it, and you're kind of right. It was like pretty slow, not too many. Like they tried to do like trade plays, like early on. Like Dignitas tried to go for like a 3 or 4 man bottom dive. Or maybe this is no. I'm thinking the next game. Maybe never mind. Yeah, this one. I think you're right. This one was just pretty slow. It was like 1-0 at the beginning, then just kind of trailed. But yeah, C9 just got a hold and kind of didn't let go at some point.
Yeah, I will say that overall, I'm really happy with the way Dignitas played throughout the spring season, and I'm liking where Neo is at. Neo's kind of looking like how the way that Johnson first was when he first showed up in the LCS,
Yeah.
and I guess the way Tactical showed up too. So we'll see if Neo can carry it on into the best of format, and I want to see how Fate God will turn out as well, because he's done really good some games, and then other games I'm not too sure if he can like properly play from behind or that sort of thing. Because I remember one game he was like, I think the Mordekaiser game on Sunday that he had played, there was like some times where he was getting caught out and that sort of thing, and I'm hoping that he might not make that sort of mistake again, or that if he gets another lead like the one that he had in that game, he can like really take it away and push it to his team's advantage.
Yeah.
So Saturday game was also kind of a stomp. I was kind of hoping there would be more of a fight for first and second place, but not really.
Especially after CLG set us up so good to taking down C9 in the first game on Friday, and you're thinking, oh shit, it's gonna happen. C9 is gonna bomb out, and then they didn't.
Yeah, that was awesome. There was like so many opportunities for tiebreakers this weekend, but then there just ended up being 0. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, everybody dodged him.
Yeah, unfortunately, our final featured game of week 6 is going to be 100 Thieves versus TL, which was also ended up pretty one-sided. I will say that like TL played pretty cracked this weekend.
Yeah.
With like a footer note of Tactical, I suppose.
I know that I was thinking the same thing. Like TL does so good. They win all their games. It's their first 3-0, and you're still like watch all these games, and you're like, what is Tactical doing? How are they winning when he's doing this?
Yeah. And then I will say that I was really impressed with Alfari this weekend, and I guess I'm just gonna throw this on you. I guess now is the time to start thinking about like first team All Pro, and maybe even second team All Pro. Like, who would you say is like maybe your favorite person in each position? Now that we've come to the end of the spring split.
Ooh, each position.
I'll go first if you want me to.
Yeah, if you've already got some thought out, go ahead. Yeah, and I'll collect my thoughts.
Okay, so I'm just gonna straight up Alfari for number 1. I think this one's pretty uncontested. When he has really good games, they're like really good games, and sometimes he has really good games without any help, or without much help at least. That's like visibly seen. Maybe there's like a lot of pressure based on where they think the jungler is and that sort of thing, or the vision control that TL has as a team in entirety. But I've seen him have really good games, and then inside and outside of the lane. Well, inside of a lane, he's a monster, first of all. And then outside of the lane, he has really good gameplay as well, from Gnar. Mostly on Gnar, but then I'm sure he can play a lot of other champions as well. So that one's uncontested for me. For jungle, I'm going to say Blabber. I really liked the way that he played for the first half of the split. And then he kind of like, he still did really well when Ven said it's time to end. But I really like the way that he played this season. And I would say that I would give him the jungle MVP. I don't know if I would give him MVP of the split. For middle, I'm not too impressed with any of the mid laners in the top 4. Because like when I watched Jensen, I don't think he was playing too crazy. And same thing with Perks. I don't think Perks was MVP quality like gameplay throughout this season. So unfortunately, I think I'm probably just gonna give this one to someone like PoE or something like that. Just because he played his part, and he on the games that he's not playing Corki, he did pretty well. So
True.
I know he probably played like 10 games of Azir this season, and I kind of hate to give All Pro to somebody like that, or that kind of like champion pick for an entire season, but it is what it is, and I wasn't like too crazy about any of the other mid laners in the top 4 or even top 6.
Yeah,
frankly. And then to finish it out with bottom, I guess I would probably end up giving it to Sven and Vulcan for that one. I don't think... Well, actually, maybe Neo for AD. I would have to think about that more.
Yeah.
But so for support, I'll go with Vulcan. I really liked the way that he played this split. I liked all of his roam timings and the way that he played. Especially in that one game last week versus TSM, where they were playing like Caitlyn Morgana, and they were winning the lane, and then they were denying Spica as well.
Yeah.
During certain parts of that game. And then he's had really good like roams to mid throughout the split, and I really just enjoyed his engages as well on Alistar and Rel. So he would be my first team All Pro for support. And then I guess for AD, I'll just go with Sven on that one. I think for a lot of the other ADs, they've had like int moments. Like Tactical has had some int moments. Lost is like pretty consistent, I guess, but nothing really puts him over the top for me. I would rate Lost like 6 or 7 out of 10 for his whole split split performance. And again, like Lost is like one of those people who like he probably played like 13 games of Kaisa straight or something like
honestly.
that. So it's kind of hard to like rate him. And then I guess the last person would be like Neo or Neo, Definitely, or who's the AD for
FBI.
No, I guess we went through everybody. FBI. FBI's been playing pretty decently as well.
Yeah,
I haven't paid too much attention to 100 Thieves games lately.
I think FBI's had a bit of a case of his team inting him, and then you're playing ADC, so what can you do?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's gonna be my first team All Pros: Alfari, Blabber, PoE, and then Sven Vulcan.
Yeah. Okay. I think I like that. I think like you said, I think I'm with you on the Alfari top. Like, I don't know, the man is just made NA his bitch a bit all split long, so I don't think that you have really good reasons for anybody else to take him over. Like, even in, like, I don't know, I'm thinking like even the teams that have beat TL, like I don't think it's been a big like Alfari, like got gapped in those games or something, and that's why they lost. It was just like, I don't know, something else has gone wrong in those games. So yeah, I think you probably go Alfari top. I think, yeah, jungle is a little weird for me. Like, I feel like you're right. Like, I think Blabber has been really good, but I feel like these last couple of weeks, especially with C9 like not doing as well, like, or being as consistent, I feel like some of that, you look at Blabber, you see games like the one against TSM where he's 4 levels and 50 CS up on Spica, and you're like, how as jungle do you lose the game from here? And then they did. So I mean, that maybe that's not fair to put on Blabber by himself, but it just seems like he's definitely one of those guys that's a little streaky maybe, and he had a long streak, but I don't know that I'm almost hesitant to give it to him. But I can't think of any other junglers that are like better. I think like Santorin on TL benefits a lot from having like TL laners, like with Jensen and Alfari, and Core in the bot lane, like going wherever he wants with you. Like, I don't know how do you lose as that jungler also. So yeah, I think I'd probably just give Blabber by default kind of there. I agree with you, Bid. I don't know that there's anybody there that's really been super standout, especially out of the top 4 teams. Perks has been good, but also bad. Same kind of with PoE. Same with, I don't know. I mean, 100 Thieves hasn't had a consistent mid laner. It's tough to say. Jizuke popped off kind of last week, but also he's Jizuke, so he kind of popped off negatively in a lot of games too. So yeah, I think I'd probably go. It's TSM bias. I'll say PoE, and then I'd probably give it to Jensen and Perks, like, as 1, 2, 3. I don't know. That's interchangeable for me, honestly. Yeah, AD. I think I want to say Neo, just because he's been, it's kind of like out of the blue, like how like good he's been. I mean, we saw him on Optic, and he wasn't, like crazy. So it's nice to see him, kind of popping off, like with Afro behind him and stuff. So I think I'd put Neo.
If I can butt in,
yeah, go.
I would say that if he's eligible for Rookie of the Split, I would give it to Neo.
Yeah.
Over Fudge.
Oh, I think I hard agree on that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Fudge, we didn't even, like, I could put every other top laner in the conversation before Fudge to talk about All Pro, and if Neo is in the top 3, then I think that's hard to agree. Yeah, I think I'd give Neo my vote here. I'd probably like also vote for FBI like second, and then probably Sven third. I don't know. It's weird for me to rate like TL and C9 players, because I feel like as a team they play so well that like they almost, like, it's almost impossible to like look really good, and also impossible to like look really bad, like, unless you're hard trolling your teams. So it's almost tough to say when you're just like that consistent over time. You like want to give it to people who look more stand out. But so I'll throw Neo in there for my AD just for fun, and then I'll give it to Core JJ for support, because I think he's still good, even if we haven't, I don't know, seen any particular like core carries all split long. He's still like, just, he's so consistent. That's what
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, that was a good thing to think about. I think that like I can't give an MVP for like the whole spring split though. There's nobody that like really stood out for me, so I don't want to put that pressure on you either.
Really? I feel like, honestly, we talked about it. I think if we, the only thing we agreed on, right? Like just outright agreed on, is Alfari was the best top in NA. And I don't think anybody else like stood close to like how good Alfari did in like all of their games. I would give Alfari MVP, IMO.
Damn. Okay. That's a pretty good argument to make for that. Yeah, I kind of like it. Giving Alfari MVP, because
I think there's a case. I think you got a case also, like sleeper cases. If like for to troll the media, you would vote Bobelter or Broxa also.
Right.
I mean, right. CLG just isn't the same team without those guys there, right? So
yeah, I guess if you want to talk about like philosophy, like what do you think of like what does MVP mean to you? Is it some weird like, oh, I think Alphamu is the most valuable to his team regardless of scoreline? Like how do you like think about MVP in that sense?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like I don't know if you watch baseball at all, but like I'm also a big like Mike Trout fan. And I just the gist is like Mike Trout is like basically the best, like undisputed the best player in the league like every year, but he's on a team that is like not good and like doesn't make the playoffs. But he's just that good that he's always just the best usually. And so like he's like every single year like one or two or three in like MVP voting because he's just that good. And I think that like if you're that kind of player, it's like easy to say. But I think I don't know. I think a lot of the time if you're on a good team already, you have to do something like kind of extra to show up. But at the same time, I don't think it's as easy as just being like in the same way you can be the best player, but you still have to prove that like you win your team games like consistently. So I don't know. I don't think it's weird stuff like if you took this guy off the team or if you put this guy on another team. It's not like that, I don't think. But I don't think I try to think of it in terms of like just like I think it's more value to the skill of the player than like their context usually.
Okay, I think that's how I usually think of it too. Is the individual player's skill, not some sort of like, well, he plays a lot of CC champs, so he sets up his team a lot.
Right.
That's MVP.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like. I think that when Afromu did win it on his like first time at 100 Thieves, I think he deserved it then. But then like I don't know. Like of course, I don't mean to say that support players should never deserve MVP because yeah, when Afromu won it and then when Vulcan won it, I think they totally did Vulcan win it or
Core JJ won it? Core JJ won it.
Okay, yeah. I think they like totally deserved it. Well, actually, even Core JJ maybe could have been contested. But anyways, I think that they deserved it when they did win it. But I think that I'm definitely along the lines of like I like individual performance as well. So if I see like Bjergsen have this crazy come back Akali kill on like that totally like carried his team back, right, and then the next game he plays Dillian and they totally like barely scraped through the win there, like
yeah,
that's the kind of thing that like I think that's quality of like MVP player of like holy shit, his in-game performance was just off the charts in that game. And what I saw him do, it's like his team couldn't have won if he didn't do what he did or play the way that he did, not just in this part of the game, but also most likely throughout the whole game as well, to even set up to be in the position to do the things that he did.
Right.
Or she, of course. So yeah, that's the way that I think of MVP as well.
Yeah, I think like you said there is like kind of on the nose. It's like it's part of like why I feel like Santorin hasn't gotten as much hype this split as he did kind of past, like when he's on teams like FlyQuest that aren't quite as good altogether. Like it feels like sometimes when you do the right thing and you play games like correctly, or as like a top team would, if the rest of your team is doing everything right and kind of like setting you up, then like how are you doing anything different than what another LCS level jungler is going to do with like a TL around him? Like you have to do stuff that differentiates you on the Rift.
Right, that's what I think too. All right, now let's finish this out with the mid-season showdown that starts this Saturday on March 20th. So no Friday games, but we're going to have the first best of 5 on Saturday with TSM versus TL. I assume it's going to be best of 5 for these matches, in which the loser of this match is going to go play EG next week. And then Sunday is going to be C9 versus 100 Thieves, and the loser of that game will go to play Dignitas next week as well. So first, let's talk about the Saturday game, TSM versus TL. I'm more hyped for this one rather than the other match on Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and I think it's going to be a really crazy matchup between these two teams because I think they're pretty similar in skill level from what I've observed over the last couple of weeks. I think they've had some games that have been really good, and then maybe some iffy games here and there for both teams, unfortunately. But I think they both have their strengths. I think they both have really good top sides, maybe give the edge to TL there. I think both of their mid laners are good. I believe in them. I think both of their junglers are good as well. I maybe might give the edge to Santorin over Spica, but I think that one's like a lot closer. And then I think the bot lanes, I respect the both of them as well. Although I guess now that I think about it, I might give the bot lane edge to TL, but that one could change game by game. We'll see the way that both AD carries perform.
Depending on what tactical shows up on the day.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't really put any predictions to it, but do you have anything to say on this matchup?
No, I think you kind of hit it. I think, especially, I mean, both teams have been playing really well recently. But like we saw, I think the last 2 weeks, TSM's or TL's only loss has been their game against TSM. But then, TSM has looked pretty good. I mean, they've dropped a couple games where they've looked kind of bad. So it's definitely going to be, I think, kind of a mental series. Like if one team gets ahead early and the other team just like isn't prepared for it or can't handle it, I think it could like easily swing one way. But hopefully, like we don't see any tilters, we don't see Tactical trying to play ADC Malphite with Tristana jumps. I don't know. I think my gut says, like, based on recent form, it's going to be TSM. Like, I think TL has looked really good, but like, I don't know. I think a lot of what they do has been through Alphari like dominance. Like when like even the Tactical's kind of been inting, right? Like, and teams have tried to punish that. I think like 100 Thieves was going for crazy dives and stuff like that. But TL's just been playing off Alphari on the other side of the map. They kind of don't care what happens in bot. So if Huni, and I think if Huni can just like neutralize Alphari a little bit and like help his team scale, like he's already shown that he played stuff like Shen, and I think he's like prepared to do that. Then it'll be a lot harder, I think, for TL to kind of execute their game plan.
I'm totally with you on a lot of those points, and it's crazy to think that like after the first few weeks of TSM games, like I would not believe that Huni could match up to Alphari, but
right.
after these past couple of weeks, I have a little bit more faith in Huni and his performance on a range of champions. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that one there. I think you want to just get right to it and try to call it one way or another.
Yeah,
I will say that in this series, I don't think this one could be a 3-0. I think it's going to be a little back and forth. Maybe one game here, one game there, or one game and then 2 games to the other team.
Yeah.
But I'm more expecting this series to be 3-1 or 3-2 as opposed to 3-0 if I was a betting person, but I'm absolutely not. Fuck, dude. When I described it to you, when I like went through lane by lane, and when I think of each team's gameplay, like I almost want to give it to TL, but I'm gonna stay faithful here, dude.
But they've lost both games. It's been TSM 2-0'd them in the regular season.
Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, okay, that solidifies me. I'm going with TSM on this one. I think they're gonna win it. If I had to pick a score line, I guess I'll say 3-1. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes to a 5-game series.
Yeah,
match goes to a 5-game series.
That's fair. I think, okay, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say with, I think the dive, I think they used to talk about this a lot, especially with like around like MSIs, and I mean, it's only whenever there's best of fives. I feel like those guys usually talk about like best of 5 predictions as like, you 3-0 when you are confident, you say 3-0 when you're confident in your pick, you say 3-1 if like you just, like 3-1 is like the cop out of 3-0, like you don't actually think your team is better, and then 3-2 is like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, like just go off. So I'm sticking with the guns, and I'm going, it's going to be 3-0 TSM. I think somehow, I think they're gonna come out the gate with some good drafts, hopefully, and then Tactical's gonna just like be mega tilted, and they'll be able to capitalize. It'll be 3-0, and if it's not 3-0, it's gonna be a reverse sweep the other way. It's gonna be TL 3-2. But that's my plan.
Dude, that's the crazy. I don't even know if like Tactical's. I wouldn't describe his gameplay as tilted. I would just describe it as like monkey or something. Like something he's not like paying attention some of the times. In some of these games where he randomly dies at the mid turret or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of tilt though sometimes. Like it's not like, I don't think he's gonna tilt like and just go Tyler 1 and run it down, right? But I think he's gonna tilt and like just do the same thing. He's like, shit, I died again, brain off, like fuck, how did I get caught? I'm just gonna click to Baron, and then it's like, shit, there's a Syndra in the bush, like, and then he just does the same thing back and forth, you know?
Yeah, I will say that like now that I think about it, I think he's playing Tristana in most of these games where he does something funny. So maybe he's off limits for the champion in this series, but we'll see. I'm actually really happy that Tristana is kind of in the meta right now, at least the pro game meta. Not because I like to see Tristana, but I just like the champion in general.
Yeah.
Over as opposed to like Kaisa Jin every game or something like that. I think I'm just happy to see like Tristana get in there and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's ripe for some spicy things to happen sometimes with AD carry players.
It's true.
But yeah, I wish that I wish these ADC players would utilize her range a little more, and not so much her jumping skills.
That's the most fun.
Yeah, dude. I think one last thing is to give context to my 3-1 prediction, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense that like it's a pretty cop out. I would just say that I was thinking more 3-1 to give like to show appreciation for TL's skill level and also to just, you know, admit to variance in whatever goes on in the game and however people feel that day. I think that overall, their skill levels of both teams are pretty close together. But like you said, TSM got the games over them in the regular season, and they looked really good when they did do so. So I believe that they can do it again. And I guess, you know, best of series are different because you get to, you know, more appreciably scout the team and, you know, a lot of their habits from all the scrims you've gotten with them over the split. So the draft is going to be a lot more closer now. I don't think there's going to be any crazy like picks that are going to come out, but we'll see how the drafts turn out. Hopefully they don't have like Jensen on Seraphine duty or something funny like that. But yeah, he has some cool pocket picks too, like when he pulled out the Vagar, and he's done like Lux in the past and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see if there's anything cool there. But yeah, I guess we're both going with TSM on this one.
TSM. All right, dude. Let's get into the C900 Thieves.
Yeah, let's just finish out this episode with C9 versus 100 Thieves, where the loser will go play Dignitas next week. This one, I would say that, like, I'll just say right from the start, I wouldn't be surprised if C9 3-0'd 100 Thieves.
I agree. That's my call too. 3-0 C9.
Yeah, this one I could be a lot more confident. Like, maybe the last 2 weeks, C9 have been playing kind of funny, but I think that, you know, when they go back to comfort, what they've been playing before, especially because I feel like these last couple patches haven't changed very much, and then they're just going to end up playing the same patch for the next 4 weeks. Like, I'm pretty sure that they know what they like. They know what Fudge is on. They know what Fudge can get away with.
Yeah.
They know the picks that their bottom lane can do to give them really strong priority on the map, especially for dragons and that sort of thing. And then I'm sure Perks knows his picks as well, from Orianna to Yone to even Yasuo or TF if need be. So I believe that Perks can play a wide range of champions, and that overall they have really good compositions in the bag. And I'm sure Blabber has a lot of picks available to him as well, even if he gets target banned, which I think is usually the case. So yeah, I believe in C9 here, and I'm not too sure what 100 Thieves is going to do, if they're even like going to potentially swap out mid laners mid-series or something like that. I'm not sure, but I just have a lot more faith in C9 to come out really strong in the gates here. Not hide anything, not practice anything or not do anything that they want to practice. They're just gonna, if they play comfort, I'm pretty confident that they would just straight 3-0, wrap it up, and we'll have a really quick Sunday.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there on everything. Kind of that you said about this matchup. I think 100 Thieves, I don't know, they like you said, they don't even like probably know what mid laner they're gonna play. I mean, maybe they do, but we don't, you know. Like it's just based on recent form, even with C9 kind of dropping off, I just don't think this will be close in comparison. Like I don't know, like before in their last matchup was the one where LeBlanc, or where Perks just picked LeBlanc like blind into Damonte and then built Mage Eyes and went 25 stacks, right? Like I think I think that doesn't change with Ryoma in. Like maybe he's like a bit more stable. I'm not sure. I feel like C9 just kind of has the edge in most places, except maybe bot lane. But I don't know. Like Huhi and FBI need like some help from the rest of their team to help snowball. And I think that if Blabber has tempo over closer, or mid lane is just getting like super pressured, they're not going to be able to play as dominant as like they usually are as a bot lane and go for like the dives that keep them ahead. So I think it's just going to be an easy C9 series.
For sure, dude. No, I got nothing to come back to you with. We're pretty much in agreement here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be it for episode 7 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on the service that you are listening to us on if you haven't already subscribed. We'd appreciate it if you would also give us a rating or hit the like button to show us some support. You can find us on YouTube as well as your podcast player of choice, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify and so forth. We'll see you all next week for another episode of On the Hunt.
Thanks everyone for listening.